Hello, everybody, and welcome to PlaidStallions Toy Ventures. I'm Brian, your host, and this is a very special episode as summer is here and it's time for some road trips. And this is a special one because not only is it a road trip, but it was my 25th wedding anniversary. So my wife and I planned a vacation, a 4-day vacation, where we went to some places we knew, but also tried some places we didn't know, and we explored as far as we could in Western Ontario. This is something we really love doing. We love going to new places, meeting new people, and seeing stuff along the way. And this was just a fantastic trip door to door. And we picked up some neat stuff. We saw tons of neat things, and we got some stories. So this is going to be part one of two of our trip. And this part focuses on day one, which was just jam packed full of vintage items. So let's begin, shall we? Our first stop of the day was the one-of-a-kind antique mall. Now, we've been here many times before, and there are a couple of Toy Ventures episodes about it, but honestly, it's a 2-hour drive from my house, and you can't pass it and not go in. The last time I was there, it was a little light on vintage, and I'm very happy to report that that is no longer the case. This place was packed with toys, and I'm really glad I brought my camera, and I took a lot of footage. So let's get into a little montage of everything we saw. Then I will tell you what tempted me and what I actually picked up from this great place. just as I was about to leave, my wife said, "There's something you got to see on the third floor," and I had missed it. So we went up those three flights of stairs again, and sure enough, it was a McDonald's drive-through sign. And I've got this weird predilection with McDonald's memorabilia, even though I don't really eat there much. And I would love this for my backyard, but it's $500, and I'm not the guy for that. But it sure was cool seeing it. This G.I. Joe set seemed like a pretty good deal. One, it's in the Canadian box, which is a big trigger for me. The other is the Joe was actually the Black Joe, who's one of my favorites. It's a really good deal. What killed me about it wasn't the price. It was the fact that I just don't think I have room for another big box Joe set. I think I have, the ones off my bucket list, and this one wasn't one of them. But it did give me pause, especially, first day of your adventure. But I just couldn't drop $400 on this. I wish I could. So we did pick up a couple of really neat things at this. First of all, my wife managed to find these V novels. We're both big fans of V, and recently we rewatched the series, and she said, "I'd love to get these novels back." And a member of PlaidStallions named Corey graciously sent her one. She read it. So now she's on the hunt for them. And, we both love V, and I had these too, and I remember reading them, and it's just kind of a fun nostalgia blast. And I love TV tie-in paperbacks. I've got stacks of them in my office. And they're the one thing you could always rely on when you went to a town. There'd be a used bookstore, and maybe you'd score a Space 1999 book. The other thing I picked up was the King himself. This is a bootleg item that came out, I believe, in the early 80s. That's when I started seeing them in variety shops. And it's also like a Mego knockoff Elvis. It's a radio, and the figure is on the stand, but he is a fully functional blow molded action figure. And if you roll up his bell bottoms, you can see that somebody took a Superjoe figure, copied it, and even copied right down to the boots. So Elvis is based on a Superjoe body that's been, turned into kind of like a blow molded thing. Take that, Gore, King of the Terrons. Yeah. I just couldn't pass this up for $15. I mean, it's just too cool. And I've owned these before, and there's also a weird-looking John Lennon in the series, and I'll be keeping an eye out for him, too. We then head over to London, Ontario, and there's a few antique markets there we visited. Really didn't have a lot of success. I saw a few odd things that I'm just showing here. But then the main attraction for me was to go to Heroes. That's a comic book store in downtown London. And if I'm ever in this town, I have to go there just because this store is like an old school comic book store. It is packed to the walls with merchandise, and it kind of reminds me of going to the Silver Snail back in the day. The place is just overwhelmingly crowded with toys, both vintage and new. And honestly, I did not find anything at Heroes, and I kind of think that I just didn't look hard enough. There had to be something I wanted. But I was also trying to find if they carry Toy Ventures, which sadly they don't. But it really was a great time just kind of hanging around and looking all this stuff. And I'm really happy I can share this footage with you. Also, if I can just mention that I have 10 issues of Toy Ventures magazine available in our store. The link is below. If you like the vintage content we do on this channel, this is the print magazine for you, and I hope you'll check it out. Thanks for listening. And our last stop of the day before we went to our hotel was a place in St. Thomas called Dark Matter Toys. I have always wanted to go here. I have met Craig, the owner, before at shows, and I had a friend buy something when he visited there once. But this was a real honor, and honestly, it's a wonderful store. And the other thing I really want to say about it is how friendly Craig is. Absolutely wonderful guy. Really gave us a lot of advice on places to go and not go. I highly recommend going to Dark Matter Toys, as you can see here. And also, the town itself, St. Thomas, is really kind of beautiful. So if you have the opportunity, please check this shop out. I got these wonderful Captain Canuck promo items from Craig at Dark Matter, and he refused to let me pay for them. He just gave them to me. I don't know what they are supposed to be. I think it's just supposed to be like a fan club item, but I love Captain Canuck. I mean, I was a 70s kid in Canada. I collect the merchandise that I can find, and being in Southern Ontario, I found the odd little piece. And of course, I co-produced the official Captain Canuck action figure about 8 years ago. So it all has some meaning to me, and I'm really grateful to Craig for giving me these. And I only need one, so I'm going to give the other two of those away in the PlaidStallions Facebook group sometime over the weekend. So there you have it, folks. This is round one of our trip. Part two will contain more antique malls, more stores, and more flea markets, and some really crazy finds. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below, or you can hit me up in our Facebook group, PlaidStallions. Thanks for watching as always, and if you're new to this, please consider hitting like and subscribe. This is what we do every week. Until next time, be well, and talk toys, not other people. Cheers.